Welcome to the Just Because Diaries, where real life meets random chats and plenty of mom moments, all while reclaiming joy in the seemingly mundane. I'm Celeste, a mom, but also a whole-ass person, navigating the balance of motherhood while rediscovering the joy in doing things just for myself. From the chaos of parenting to the little moments that make life fun, nothing is off limits. So grab a cup of coffee or something stronger, and let's get into it. Today, we'll be chatting about my daughter's birthday and how a diaper bag did me dirty, plus a Just Because moment where I am bringing tap dancing out of my kitchen and onto the stage. First of all, thank you so much to everyone who messaged me about my last episode. It was truly such an honor to hear your stories, and it was also honestly just upsetting how many stories I heard that were also full of trauma and full of fear. So it just goes to show how much more information and education is needed around C-sections. But thank you again to each and every one of you for sharing your stories, and just please know that it meant so much to me. Now on to today's episode. Keely, my baby girl, has turned 2. Her birthday was last week, and we had a little get-together with my family, and we had a really, really great day. I had asked her to pick between Bluey or Mickey, who she calls Bicky. I wanted to determine which theme she wanted, and she ended up choosing Mickey. So I went with an Oh Twodles theme for her big day, and there are so many cute Pinteresty things that you can do for an Oh Twodles theme, and with my whole whimsy goal, it would have been amazing to make as much of those things as humanly possible. But as much as I love that magical vibe, I am also a realist, and I know myself. So as much as I would love to be that person that makes, all the cute little snack signs and custom decor, I knew that it would never get done. So I opted to buy a decoration kit from Amazon instead to, just make my life a little bit easier. But to be fair, I did have to put the banners together, so there's that. The whimsy intent was definitely there. And if you are a parent who goes full-blown Pinterest party for your kiddos, I bow down to you, and please know that I admire the shit out of you. So feel free to tell me all of your secrets, because I would love to be just like you. Anyway, balloons were included in my little Amazon kit, which I thought was really awesome. So I went to our local Michael's to get them inflated, since Party City is gone forever. R.I.P. I miss you all the time. But please listen to me when I say, do not get your Mylar balloons from Amazon. Just don't. The price, it will be tempting, but don't do it. Because when I went to pick up my balloons before the party, 2 of the Mylar balloons were barely floating, and somehow they were upside down. I have no idea how that's possible. And then I also got one giant number 2 Mylar balloon, and that one exploded as soon as I walked out of the store. It scared the absolute crap out of me, as well as this poor lady who happened to be backing out of her parking spot at the exact moment of the explosion. So I'm so sorry to that lady. But I sadly walked to my car with the rest of my balloons. I shoved them in the back, and then I turned right back around, walked right back into Michael's to purchase yet another number 2 balloon from them. Thankfully, they weren't busy, and they were really, really kind and super helpful. But one of the guys working mentioned that in the short time that Michael's has offered balloons and balloon inflation since the death of Party City, he has heard more bad things about balloons purchased on Amazon than good. And now I totally know why. So lesson learned there. So please heed my warning. Buy balloons from Michael's or whatever party suppliers that are not Amazon, and save yourselves from the same balloon disappointment that I felt. But the party itself was so great. We served up hot-diggity-dogs, which are hot dogs for any non-Mickey Mouse Clubhouse listeners. And we also had a good amount of beer and wine for everyone. Now, the day before our little party, I was talking to my best friend about the party, and I was explaining that since this party would be mostly family, I was going to have beer and wine, because that's what we do at family gatherings. But I was saying to her that I don't think I would necessarily have beer and wine at parties with like other kids. Like if I had a birthday party for my son Miles and I invited some of his classmates and their parents, I don't think I would serve beer and wine because I wouldn't know them and it would feel weird. But then my friend was saying that she thinks that having beer and wine for adults at a kid's party would be normal. And to be honest, if I went to a party Miles was invited to and they had beer and wine for the adults, I wouldn't think it's weird. But is it weird? If I'm being totally honest, I think my reasoning has everything to do with the fact that I would rather not be judged by the parents of classmates. But I would love to know your thoughts on this subject. Beer and wine at kids' parties for non-family/close friends, yay or nay? DM me or shoot me an email to thejustbecausediaries@gmail.com. I would love to know your thoughts on the matter. Anyway, we were very lucky to have the most perfect weather for the party. So the kids were playing outside for the most part, which was amazing. But I need to share this one story because it felt like it was straight out of a Bluey episode. So for Keely's birthday, our Irish family got her one of those climbing domes. So the kids were all using that as sort of their home base for whatever games they were playing. And at one point, I guess they were playing zoo because one of the kids yells, "We need a new zookeeper. Ours is sick and dying." And I was like, what in the world? And I look over and I see one of the kids who was presumably said zookeeper, and she's hunched over using a bubble wand as a cane in one hand and gripping a little toy purse in her other hand. And she's just slowly walking away. It was so cute and so funny, but I also felt like I was left with a cliffhanger because I don't know if the zookeeper ever got replaced or if she had a miraculous recovery and came back at full strength. Even though I know what probably happened is the kids got over it and decided to play a new game. But it was a really good time. The kids were having so much fun. Everyone else was hanging out. We couldn't have asked for a better afternoon. But as I was watching all of the kids running around, all of them at different ages, I couldn't help but notice how big they're all getting. And at one point, my local bestie asked me about how I was feeling about Keely turning 2. And I told her that I thought I was feeling totally okay about it, but that I had just had this conversation with my California best friend about how she has become a backpack person since having a baby and how she had just gotten herself a cute new backpack to tote all the things in. And I shared how I'm about to be out of that phase of life when we potty train Keely this summer. So I was telling my local bestie at the party this story and how it felt totally nonchalant as I was saying it to my California best friend. But the second I finished saying it and the words were like out in the world, I felt really sad. Like suddenly this diaper bag of mine carried so much more weight than being just a bag, because suddenly it wasn't just a bag. It was the end of a whole chapter for good, because Keely is my last baby, and once she's potty trained, I won't need a diaper bag ever again. It's this very weird sense of finality that I never in a million years would have guessed would have come from a diaper bag, of all things, especially when I'm not even super attached to my diaper bag. In fact, when we potty trained Miles, I could not wait to get out of the diaper bag. I don't know why. It's not like diaper bags are the worst things in the world, but I think I just wanted to feel more like a person and less like a pack mule. So I was excited to get back to my purse life. And then I lived my best purse life for like, I don't know, 2 years until Keely was born. And then she was born and it was back to diaper bag life. And it was fine. It just was what it was. So to be honest, feeling sad about not carrying a diaper bag anymore caught me super off guard. Because I think when I originally thought of Keely being my last baby, I thought of all of the obvious milestones like first steps, first words, all of those first things also being lasts as well. But I never thought I'd have feelings over not carrying a diaper bag around. And I know that it's not about the diaper bag itself. I will be just fine without my little Petunia Picklebottom Disney diaper bag that I got at TJ Maxx. It's that having no diaper bag and having 2 potty trained kids means that the baby life is behind me for good. I mean, even big things like her dentist talking to me about weaning Keely off of the pacifier didn't hit me at all. But this diaper bag, it is freaking killing me. And even though I'm not quite there yet, like I said, we're planning to potty train Keely this summer, I am still totally feeling the weight of that milestone already because for some reason, when I think about it as the end of babyhood for good and forever, suddenly I am seeing my kids as grown-ass adults and David and me as empty nesters. And it makes me feel even sadder. Like life just flashes by in my mind in an instant when I think about it. And then I get in my feelings and I start to wonder where the last 2 years have gone. And I feel sad about that. And then the spiral continues until I'm a teary, snotty mess. And David is like, what happened? Who died? And all I have to say is our babies are growing up. I didn't think I had a lot of feelings about Keely turning 2, but it turns out I do. They're just not what I expected them to be at all. And honestly, I will probably feel the same when we face her car seat forward or experience other weird non-milestone milestones. But anyway, keep your Amazon balloons and your diaper bags close because apparently they both might betray you emotionally. And for all of you mamas out there who are experiencing your last firsts or last lasts and are having unexpected feelings about all of those things, I see you. Know that you aren't alone in whatever feelings you're having, and know that we can all just be in our feelings together, even if it's over something as random as a diaper bag. Well, guys, I am officially registered for my tap class. They let me join right now in the middle of their session, which I was so grateful for. When I went back to class for the second time, everyone was so amazing and welcoming all over again. They were saying all the nicest things, and honestly, it felt really amazing. But as excited as I am for this class, I am also terrified because I will be performing with them in June. I have exactly 8 classes until the performance. That's it. First of all, I think I have tap danced for an audience 2 times in my whole life. Once was an actual performance, and the other was in college for a sorority thing. So I'm not even really sure that counts. So to say that I'm nervous is a huge understatement, especially because their choreography is very much finished, and they have been performing this choreo since at least December from what I gathered. So they are super familiar and comfortable with it, and I have a lot of catching up to do, which is very intimidating. But the instructor and my classmates seem to have a lot of faith in me for some reason, so that's helping to bolster me a bit. And I've also been poring over a recording of their routine any chance I get to try and learn the choreography. Literally, I will be making dinner while watching their routine and tapping in the kitchen in my socks, replaying parts over and over until I figure out the steps. So if you happen to drive by my house and see me frantically shuffling in front of a pot of pasta while staring at my phone, no, I haven't lost it. I am just trying to nail a step before the water boils. But now that I am in it, I am in it. So I need to be able to rock this choreography because I know that I'm going to be out of my mind nervous come performance day. But if I can get the choreography down to the point where it's second nature, that would just be really helpful. So the countdown is on. 8 classes, 1 routine, and 1 very, very nervous mom who is currently 60% excitement and 40% what the hell have I done? I'll keep you guys posted on the progress and hopefully not disaster as we get closer to June. But regardless of the terrifying looming performance, I am just so grateful to be taking class again and to have found a group of women that feels like a wonderful community. I was telling my Australian best friend, yes, I have a best friend in yet another location. I can't help it that my friends are amazing. But I was telling her about my tap class and about how wonderful the ladies in class are. And she mentioned how important it is to be able to find community in a hobby you love because while you obviously love the hobby, you get so much more out of it when you find community like that. And she is so right. I think that we have all experienced being the new person who walks into a room where it feels like everyone there knows the secret handshake except us. And when I first took this class, I was really worried that I would be faced with just that, a very cliquey group of women who would maybe snub me or judge me or something. Basically, I was worried that they were going to make me feel like I didn't belong. And if that would have been the case, my experience would have been so different. I probably wouldn't have been as amped to register right away. I think I still would have registered, but I would have gone in feeling super insecure. I would have taken the class for the tap dance aspect of it, but that's it. And actually taking the class would have probably felt even harder and scarier and probably would have been way less fun for me. But instead of a "you can't sit with us" mentality, they were like, "Hey, here's where we put our bags. And also, don't worry, we still mess up the choreography sometimes, so you're going to be just fine." They are a group of women that I can easily see myself blending into. I can see myself making new friends in this group, and I think that will make all the difference in my experience. And to think that I never would have met these ladies if I didn't just pull the trigger on taking class. I've only taken class 3 times, and already I feel like I'd be missing out on something awesome if I hadn't put on my big girl panties and tried the class in the first place. So, this is yet another reminder that sometimes the scary thing we're signing up for, whether that's the class, the hobby, the random Tuesday night activity, isn't just about the skill. I went for the tap class, but I stayed for the community. So, if there's something you've been hovering over the register button for, just do it. Put on your big girl panties and go find that community for yourself, because I promise you, it is so worth it. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Just Because Diaries. I love reading your emails, and I would love to hear your thoughts on serving adults alcohol at kids' parties. So shoot me a message with your thoughts to thejustbecausediaries@gmail.com, and you may just be mentioned in a future episode. And finally, it would mean the world to me if you could please take a few seconds to rate and review my podcast by hitting that 5-star button and leaving me a little love note in the review section. And please share this episode with a friend who you think might enjoy being part of this budding community. Thank you so much again for listening. I so appreciate you being here, and I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Bye for now.